on this report, let's speak to Mahmoud Khafif. He's the coordinator of the assistance to the Palestinian people at the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Good to have you with us, Mahmoud. So we do know, don't we, that the economy of occupied territories actually increased by 3.5%. That's good news on the face of it. But what's the reality on the ground?
Actually, this number is a bit misleading because we are operating from a very low base. And the reason for the low base is the military operation which took place in 2014, which have destructed quite a bit of Gaza. So when we hear about 3.5% growth, yeah, the economy has grew, but has grew after big destruction. But if you look at all the other economic indicators, they are not very appealing. They don't look good. For example, we have 26% unemployment both in the West Bank and Gaza. Poverty is increasing. People are in need for humanitarian assistance are increasing. I would say about 2/3 of the Palestinian population in the occupied Palestinian territory are in need for humanitarian assistance. So, as you said, the infant mortality in 50 years has increased. Now we have in Gaza 20 in 1,000 infant death. That used to be about 5 years ago, about 12 in 1,000. So all the indicators are really alarming, and there is not much improvement. In addition to that, actually last year... Yes, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mahmoud. I was going to say that the big problem for Palestinian economy is that it relies so heavily on both Israel and international aid. How do they move away from that? They can't, can they?
Actually, they rely not by choice. Actually, they rely because of the occupation. Between 70 and 80% of Palestinian imports are actually coming through Israel, and Israel collect the tax on these imports on behalf of the Palestinian Authority, and after that they clear them to the Palestinian Authority, and that's the reason that they were withheld in the first quarter of last year, and that create lots of disturbance to the Ministry of Finance in Palestine, and create lots of agony among basically civil service. So it's not by choice that the economy in this situation, and it's mainly most of this.
Okay.
Most of this.
So what is it that you want the UN to do?
No, actually, it's the UN, the international community, and Israel. I mean, the blockade of Gaza has to be lifted. The restriction on mobility and access in West Bank has to be relaxed substantially. Add to that, the occupation, as we have indicated in our report, is costing the Palestinian economy quite a bit. What we are saying in our report, that without the occupation, without the restriction of the occupation, without the destruction of the occupation, the Palestinian economy as it is now would be able to produce twice as much as it is producing now. What we are saying that the Palestinian economy is a viable economy. It's an economy that could support the two-state solutions. However, this is not doable at this point of time because of the occupation and the ongoing restriction and the ongoing measures imposed by the occupation. What we are calling to the international community is there is a need to establish a mechanism to assess and examine and estimate the cost of occupation, basically to put this on record, that number one, and number two, also to tell the international community that the Palestinian economy is a viable economy if it's getting the chance. And number three is, if we would like to reverse the negative impact of the occupation, then there is a cost to do that, and this cost is basically estimated in the cost that the occupation imposes on the Palestinian people and their economy.
Very interesting reading of that report. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts there, Mahmoud Khafif.